Hi everybody, Games for Gamers on air. Today I will start to equip point called Kilometre 0 in Minecraft. I play survival mode, vanilla style without any cheats, shaders or mods. But at first let me tell about 0 point. What is it? Kilometre 0, also called 0 mile marker, control stations or control points, it's a very ancient story. It is particular location from which distances are traditionally measured. Usually they were installed in capital cities. The Millennium Aurum, translated as golden milestone from Latin, was built in ancient Rome. In modern world, installing the Kilometre 0 became just a tradition, because everyone has GPS on their phones, I think. So sometimes we can see modern signs in various towns and cities, even small villages. Well, some weeks ago I traveled to the location 0x0 in my city. You know that my city is full of water, so it's not surprising that 0 point was right in the sea, surrounded by water. It's good that the land was not far away. At that time I didn't have the enchant respiration, that extends underwater breathing time, on my helmet, so I postponed construction. But now I have such enchant and many useful others, so let's start. But first, let's see the project of Kilometre 0 building. I made it in laboratory world in creative mode. Let's start from the top. Now you can see the dome and the entrances to the building. I plan to have 4 wooden entrances, also there are already other ideas. Inside the space is fenced with fences, so as not to fly down. After all, falling 60 meters is fatal. In the corners of the project there will be water lifts for quick descent and ascent. Here they are indicated schematically, then I will show the effects. Above, on the dome, there will also be a number 0, made of gold blocks, and with a diamond block at the top.
It's a dark, cold world out there. There's a time to live and a time for a man to die.
Let's go further. For now I am planning this kind of stele itself. It's made of nether bricks and golden blocks.
There are places for dead men in the earth and the sky. Don't you venture too far now, 'cause you can't come back.
And it's the project of the lava part, where in fact the 0 kilometer will be located, on the bedrock.
From the place where the good guys always dress in black. When you go to the old saloon at the dead south end, gonna find you a man there wants to be your friend.
Here in the corners we have working prototypes of elevators. Let's go for a ride. This elevator lifts up at lightning speed thanks to the soul sand block at the bottom.
Saloon at the dead south end, gonna find you a man there wants.
And this is an ordinary tunnel filled with water. It also works like an elevator, mainly downward. But you can climb up in semi-manual mode too. In general, 2 elevators will be automatic, 2 conventional. The outer wall of glass blocks is 13 by 13 square and 70 blocks high. Glass in general will require about 3,700 or 4,000 blocks. This is 56-60 full stacks of 64. In general, 1 large chest. There is still a lot of work on extracting sand. Let's look at the entire installation from above and then return from plants to earthly and water affairs. In the meantime, subscribe to the channel and like this video, so as not to miss the end of this grandiose construction project by my standards in the future. First, we will collect the dirt. For this I use an iron shovel. I also have the netherite one enchanted to efficiency, unbreaking and mending, but it will take a lot of time to repair it, and I use netherite shovel not regularly. And iron blocks I have a lot, thanks to my iron farm constructed on Golem.
Be your friend. If you dare to deny his wish, you'll be dead by dawn. So give him a drink and a smile and then move right on.
Well, the dirt blocks are collected, so let's start drainage. This process took many time, and in the end you can see the huge construction from blocks of dirt. The principle of drainage is to fill the area with dirt or sand and then dig it back up, leaving the walls.
Rednecks with white faces, don't go putting on down. Rednecks with white faces, they ain't no rodeo clowns.
Let's start digging out unnecessary dirt.
Had a dream last night where the earth began to shake.
Now you see the moment when I dug up the bottom of the ocean. There is about 40 more blocks down to bedrock.
Died on the end of a wooden stake. Saw a girl with a ring of gold and a dress of red. Saw a man with a stream of blood.
I decided to check again all the calculations and see how the walls are located relative to zero. It turned out that it was not entirely accurate, so I made the perimeter of the future glass wall from glass blocks. Not scary, at this stage everything can still be adjusted. A glass wall in the water was also partly built.
Running down his head. Playing pool with the man in the top hat, tying tails. Don't you dare.
At the level of 35 meters, I found a cave, but this event is great. Construction will look more interesting. I plan to make glass walls not only to protect from water, but also along the entire height, where there is no water, and even put a platform of glass blocks on the bedrock. Again, from time to time I had to go down into the mine. Right at the construction site, a plant was organized to process ore and sand. For sand, for the production of glass, had to return to the mainland, since it is not far from zero. Here, guys, the preliminary stage of my excavation and geological work. So what is next? And then dig deeper.
Smile and his long black fingernails. It might look like an easy mark, but he knows the score. One bite from his pointed fangs, you'll be under the floor. Rednecks with white faces, don't go putting them down. Rednecks with white faces.
Then I remembered that I had a lot of dynamite with me, or TNT, and I began to make explosions closer to the bedrock. Also, this case is dangerous, it was significantly accelerated, the process of digging. Those minerals that ended up in the walls were left for beauty, I think, in addition to the elevator, to make another staircase downward in the circle to view the scape of the ocean from the depths and outcrops of minerals. Well, almost done. You can see the bedrock. A few more explosions and pickaxe work and voila! This is how the cleared area looks like. torches and outlets of valuable resources are visible in the walls. It is partly already covered with glass. The column in the middle is the dot above 0. It will be removed, of course. It is clear that all unnecessary ladders from the dirt blocks will also be removed after finishing. From above and from the water at the moment the structure looks like this.
There ain't no rodeo
In the meantime, I decided to go home, to my castle. I need to see how the farms work there and whether the peasants have rebelled. Well, also to fix the tools, collect sand, make glasses and shovels. And take iron from the reserves and stone to continue work, as well as a fuel, probably blocks of dried kelp. This is how my AFK farm of creepers or gunpowder looks now. I put the numbers, there are only 10 floors here, they all work. And at home a cat, male or female, is waiting for me. It doesn't matter who is he or she, the main thing is that it waits. As a matter of fact, that's all, folks. Subscribe to my channel, so don't miss the continue or the end of the grandiose construction. And also click the bell. See you later.